All right, so in this quick mini bite, we're going to go through a data visualization critique. I'm going to show you some charts and you're going to think about what might be better in the charts. And I have some examples of what I would do differently in some of these charts. So as you see them, you think about what might be different, and I'll kind of talk about what I see as the bad things in each of these charts. I'm going to give you a softball right now for this first one. Lots of things going on in this chart, lots of wrong things in this chart. It's 3D, it's a pie chart, it sums to greater than 100%. The title is center aligned and centered. There's a big legend here. We don't need it. Anytime you see a pie chart with lots of slices like this, let's go to a bar chart automatically. And because of this question is a survey question that was select all that apply. Visitors could select any of them that applied to them. So technically 100% of the survey sample could have selected all these options. So I really like this framed bar chart with that little gray buffer zone. It's kind of like a progress bar chart. I really like this treatment for these check all that apply or select all that apply questions. Here's the before. Here's the after, much better. At this point, I would also be remiss not to mention the ubiquitous annual operating revenue pie chart from your finance team and the annual report. Get rid of these pie charts and just make them into bar charts. Much easier to see where we get most of our money from and where we get least of our money from than when we're looking at a pie chart like this. It's really hard for our eyes to compare things. Remember, length is one of the easiest things for our eyes to sort of encode in terms of visual representations of data. So don't do a pie chart like this for annual operating revenue. Do a bar chart like this. It will be much better. Which sustainable coffee terms resonated most and least? So this is something that we probably ask visitors quite often, like what do you like most and what do you like least about something. This is sort of a standard clustered bar chart. It's sort of a default chart. It's a little bit busy. My eyes don't really know where to go. There's this legend here at the top. It looks like some default colors going on. I bet I could do something different. Anytime I see a clustered bar like this, a paired bar chart, I automatically think, what would it look like if it was just two side-by-side bar charts? And I think that looks much better. I'm going to do a lot of those different formatting techniques to kind of reduce the gap width between the bars and make things look really nice and custom. But now I can really easily see which ones were the most favorite among visitors, which ones were the least. And that really resonates with me. This option looks really nice. The other thing that I thought was, in this data, we have a most and we have a least. We have two kind of poles. And there's some asymmetry going on here between the two. And so I thought a back-to-back chart might be really nice for this as well. Here you can really see that they're not equally proportioned. They are very disproportioned in terms of some of those options. It's really easy to see what the most favorite and the least favorite options are. So I like that back-to-back option in lieu of that first clustered or paired bar chart option. Now, here's one that we're looking at: guest motivations for visiting the zoo over time. And so it's kind of this big line chart with all these lines kind of squished together. We have our legend at the top. I don't like that. Let's go ahead at the very least, let's get rid of the legend and let's embed it in the line chart. So let's put those legend labels on the sides of each of those lines so that you can really sort of see, your eye doesn't have to bounce back and forth. Your eye can really see where each of those lines lives in terms of their legend labels. But anytime we have a line chart like this or a really messy chart like this, I automatically think, I bet that would look good in a small multiples approach, which is basically just taking this chart and dividing it into 5 small miniature charts. So it's going to look just like this. And now your eye can much more easily see over to, kind of across the page or across the slide, where were the highest motivations, where were the lowest motivations, where did we see any interesting dips or peaks. And I can already see over here, let me activate my pen right here. I can already see this really kind of interesting peak right here in 2023. It looks like it probably was for special exhibit. And lo and behold, we had our special dinosaur exhibit in 2023. So that was an interesting way to see. It wasn't as easy to see that trend or spot that little data point when I had all the lines squished together. Here was one we were asking, how easy or difficult would it be to do the following bird-friendly behaviors? And it's that classic sort of survey item and a classic stacked bar chart. A lot of things going on right here. The first thing I see is this rainbow color palette from red to blue. I don't think we need it. We need an intentional color palette, and I want that legend to be at least at the top. If I'm going to have to have a legend for a stacked bar, I want it to be at the top because my eyes are going to start at the top. So let's go ahead and put that right there, and let's see how easy this is now with some intentional coloring. So I just wanted everything to be really dark on the difficult end, and then really kind of use those shades of blue on the positive end with the slightly easy, very easy, that kind of thing. Still very busy, but it's easier for my eye to kind of see things now. It's not really easy for me to spot trends though. What was the most agreeable, what was the least agreeable, or the most easy and the least easy? This is where we can have some intentional ordering. So we can probably order the data by the sum or the aggregate of the people who said slightly easy, easy, and very easy. And let's see what that looks like. Much better. Now I can kind of start to get some trends here, like create a bird-friendly habitat was much easier for people than joining a bird-friendly nature organization down all the way at the bottom. It's still pretty busy, and I don't really have any values, so I know that the people who read this are gonna say, yeah, but how much is each of those slices worth? And so we're gonna add data labels to all of them, and my eyes can't take this. It's way too busy. There's too much going on here, so this is where that simplicity comes in. Can we do some intentional grouping that makes things a little bit easier to see? And I think we can. Let's go ahead and group all the difficult options, the neither, and the easy together, and now we have effectively 3 sections of this chart that really show the same thing. They show the same point, and I can really see now what was easiest for visitors and what was least easiest. And now if I wanted to take it a step further, I could actually create a diverging stacked bar chart, create an axis of orientation there, so everything that was from difficult and neither to adopt those behaviors could be on the left hand side, and those that were easy to adopt on the right hand side, and I can really easily see which ones were most difficult and easiest to adopt at a glance. It's a pretty nice way to create this. So these stacked bar charts, these survey scale items, really have to be thought through in terms of how you can simplify, how you can group things together meaningfully to give your reader those points. So this was a little data viz critique. I think we're all finished with it now. In the next module, we're going to talk about making unique charts from standard charts inside of PowerPoint. Stay tuned.